Look around, the world is drowning in stuff. Overconsumption is taking place, and it seems like every store is urging us to buy even more. This consumerism isn't just cluttering our lives, it's also taking a toll on our planet. The billions of tons of carbon emissions in waste generated by our constant need for more are wreaking havoc on the environment, and it's not doing wonders for our happiness either. In fact, owning all this stuff often leads us feeling even less happy than before. So why do we keep buying? Let's chat about why we keep falling into this consumerism trap fueled by the constant growth of capitalism, and more importantly, how we can break free from it and explore alternatives that allow us to have more pleasant and sustainable lifestyle. Buckle up, it's showtime. Welcome to Nitzero Club, the place where impactful people come to get inspired. In the richer parts of the world, aka Global North, people tend to overconsume like crazy. They're always seeking shiny new things, whether it's a brand new luxury car or the latest fashion or gadget trend. It's almost like you buy things not just because you need them, but to show off, fit in, or just satisfy your needs. And it's not entirely your fault. You have been conditioned to link your success and happiness with the things you own. Blame it on capitalism, which thrives on growth and profits. Companies want you to keep buying so they can keep making more money. And those ads you see everywhere? Well, they're designed to make you believe you can't be truly happy unless you have that new smartphone or designer bag. Everything is premeditated to keep you trapped. But guess what? This whole urge to buy and accumulate is not inherently hardwired into our brains. This relentless overconsumption is a symptom of a disease called capitalism and how it operates. To succeed, companies need to keep producing and expanding. This is where advertising comes in. It paints a picture of the improved life you could have if you owned it. Suddenly, that new smartphone or designer bag isn't just a product, it's showcased as a life-changing necessity even though you don't need them. However, more stuff and income don't necessarily mean more happiness. In fact, this phenomenon is called the Easterling Paradox. It basically says once we have our basic needs met, additional stuff doesn't add much to our overall well-being. On top of that, there is a law of diminishing returns, which is a concept that explains how after a certain point, adding more to something doesn't lead to the same level of increased benefits or outcomes. In simple terms, it means that as you keep investing more resources like time, money, or effort into a particular activity or process, the additional gains you get become smaller and smaller. Imagine you are baking a batch of cookies. At first, as you add more chocolate chips to the dough, the cookies become more delicious. However, there comes to a point where adding even more chocolate chips won't make the cookies taste much better. In fact, if you keep adding too many chocolate chips, the cookies might become too sweet and people might not enjoy them as much. Oscar Wilde wisely said, "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that's all." And that's why you are part of the Nitzero Wealth Club. You don't just want to make a living, you want to design your life. That's why many people subscribe to the channel, and you should do too if you haven't already. Besides impacting your self-perception and mental health, capitalist overproduction and subsequent excessive consumption contribute to significant waste, pollution, carbon emissions, and labor exploitation. Attempts to decouple economic growth from its environmental impact have fallen short, as evidenced by the failure of various strategies to address the urgent need for effective emissions reduction. For example, despite South Korea's efforts to promote green growth in 2009, the increase in their emissions tells a different story. The result? carbon emissions rose by about 20% in the following 2 years. Given that the current capitalist model of continuous GDP growth isn't compatible with a zero-carbon world, what alternatives exist? Here's where the concept of degrowth comes in. Degrowth suggests scaling down production and consumption while focusing on fulfilling genuine human needs as shelter, education, healthcare, well-being, and transportation. It challenges the idea that more is always better and aims to create a world where everyone can thrive without being consumed by our desire for stuff. Did you notice how many people are embracing different lifestyles like minimalism, zero waste, and slow living? They're basically trying to take a break from the stress and disconnection that often comes with the hustle of capitalist modern life. It's interesting because these choices show that people realize how our constant buying and using stuff, driven by capitalism, can be bad for both our well-being and the planet. But here's the twist. While these approaches are appealing, they miss a bigger picture. It's not only about what each person does, but also about how the whole system works. The growth is not just about you as an individual changing your habits. It's about transforming the whole system. Degrowth can be seen as an anti-capitalist framework that seeks the downscaling of production and consumption in a way that increases human well-being and enhances ecological conditions and equity. Essentially, it calls for a shift in the economy from one based on overconsumption and obsessive accumulation to one that produces goods to satisfy real needs. We are talking about making affordable energy-efficient homes with low embodied carbon, transitioning to cleaner energy sources, improving public transportation and quality of life for everyone, and prioritizing careers that benefit both you and the environment. There is a Native American proverb that goes, "We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children." Since you are part of the Nitzero club, I'm pretty sure you believe your lifestyle has a major influence on your legacy. If that's the case, do yourself a favor and hit that like button because we deserve it. Facts reveal a staggering truth. The Earth can't support a global population of 10 billion people if we continue with the way people in North America and Europe live, driven by capitalism. To put it simply, Earth needs 1 year and 8 months to recover from what we use in just 1 year. This means we're clearly off balance and will not be able to keep this lifestyle much longer. But hold up, do you think that living sustainably means you have to give up everything and going back to the Stone Age? Not even close. Studies show that we can significantly reduce our consumption while still enjoying a good quality of life. And get this, even a 60% cut in global energy consumption is possible without sacrificing our comfort. It's a sustainable lifestyle focused on experiences, well-being, and meaningful connections instead of constantly chasing material possessions. But I'll be honest, transitioning to this kind of lifestyle isn't a walk in the park, especially in our current capitalist setup. This is where eco-socialism steps in. It's about sharing resources and making decisions that benefit everyone, not just a select few. Eco-socialism is like a blend of caring for nature and fairness for everyone. It's about making sure we treat our planet nicely while also making sure everyone gets a fair chance to live well. This blend of degrowth and eco-socialism could be the answer to create a more balanced and sustainable future beyond capitalism. In the words of Marx, without a constant need for work in order to live or to have something, we can actually start being ourselves. We can start asking questions like, why do we burn 800 million gallons of gas every year in the US alone just to mow lawns when we can have a beautiful drought-tolerant garden that reduces water consumption? or even foster community gardens to improve community resilience. Or question ourselves, why is buying new stuff easier and more attractive than repairing it? With all the evidence piling up against capitalism's growth-focused model, it's clear that eco-socialist degrowth is a key solution. By merging the best of both worlds, we can pave the way for a future that's about more than just mindless consumption. It's a journey toward a life filled with meaningful experiences, close relationships, and genuine connection with our planet. Neither degrowth nor eco-socialism alone can effectively address these challenges. Their combination is crucial for a new promising direction away from capitalism. So let's start thinking about a life free from consumerism and waste, where what truly matters takes center stage: your family, health, well-being, and purpose. This blend of degrowth and eco-socialism creates a future that's not only better for you, but for the earth we call home. In the end, it's about reimagining your priorities. Do you want a world drowning in stuff, suffocating in emissions, and leaving you perpetually unhappy? Or can you envision a world where your well-being, happiness, and the health of the planet are priority over a constant consumption? The choice is yours to make. Now I'm curious to know, what is the best way to end consumerism in your opinion? Drop your answer in the comments below. As always, keep up a good fight and be wealthy.